I'm Sherman. I'm the head coach at South Sumter High School in Bushnell, Florida. A few years ago, we were having some hydration problems, and most of our players were trying to work it out with water and Gatorade. We continued to have a lot of cramping. Lisa Marie showed up one day and started telling us all about Reddrox. Actually, we have a player named Clinton Hart that plays for the San Diego Chargers, and we were fortunate enough to have a camp by Clinton Hart. Lisa Marie showed up to help us one day and introduced our captains at that time to Reddrox. At that time, some of our players started to use Reddrox as a hydration system and to implement the fact that they were dehydrated, and they wanted to do something to keep from cramping. Teenagers get these calf cramps at night. It was just horrendous for them. So once they started using Reddrox, they seemed to feel better. Immediately, many of them said they felt much more hydrated, they felt much more refreshed. But maybe at the same time, they stopped using as many sugary drinks. And with the implementation of Reddrox, we've just been able to minimize the number of cramps that we've had. Still have a number of players that get them, but it seems like those players have been sick, sometimes flu-like symptoms, and the truth is I think they still end up dehydrated some because of the flu or something like that. But since we started using Reddrox, our players have experienced less cramping and seem to be much better off as far as being able to finish practice in the heat down here in Florida. You know how important that is. So it's certainly helped us out a great deal.
So, Coach, for what we're going to be doing is Sumter High is going to be the first high school that is actually using it on their full football team. And we're looking at taking this to every school in the nation, but we're starting with Florida. Are you ready to tell every coach right now what they should be doing?
Well, we're excited about having the opportunity to be the first on Reddrox. It certainly is something that we feel like has already proven to us it's going to be a help. And anything that I think helps our young people do a little bit better job of maintaining nutrition and hydration habits, it's got to be a plus for all of us.
Well, we're quite proud of you, and we're, of course, proud of Clint Hart. You coached Clint. Could you just tell us just a little story about Clint Hart?
Clint Hart is a special story. When he came here in 9th grade, he had a little chip on his shoulder. He usually got upset about just about anything, and a little bit of immaturity there, and it took us some time to find out what to do to help him. One thing we found out about Clint Hart is he was unbelievably competitive, and he wanted to play every down. What we found that worked with Clint is if he was losing his temper or whatever, we found out the bench was always the coach's best friend. We set him out, let him sit on a bench for a while, and suddenly he became a much better attitude type person. Great news for us, that only happened when he was in 9th grade. Once we set him out and made him watch a half, he knew we'd set him out. He learned his lesson, and from then he was just an incredibly fun person to coach and an incredibly competitive human being. And justifiably so, he's the only NFL player from our high school.
Yeah. And what does Sumter High and actually Bushnell think about Clint Hart?
You know, he's one of his strengths is the fact that he gives back all the time. He's had 6 consecutive Clinton Hart camps that he funds, he pays for. He gives his time strictly for these kids, and anybody in our community that's called and asked him for something, he's found a way to give it. He comes back and he talks to the high schools, the middle schools, the elementary schools, and he's just a tremendous example of somebody with a tremendous work ethic, and somebody who understands small communities, understands where he came from, and he's always willing to give back. We can't say enough good things about him.
Well, I thank you, Coach, and this is Lisa Marie talking, and this has been a tremendous school for me to be involved in, and I think I'm just going to move in with you, Coach.
Oh, my goodness. Let's talk to Miss Sherman first to make sure that's okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.